Escaping the rat race is the farthest thing from an average mind. Sadly, only a few from the majority of the population figured out how to escape the rat race. Those that did escape understood how their time is precious. They understood the way we spend our time defines who we are and how we live. Take a look of how many people get themselves into this so-called rat race. This may very well be your very current life being depicted here. Here we have a child who was born, raised, and a couple years later goes to school. The proud parents are excited because the child excels, gets fair to good grades, and is accepted into a college. The child graduates, perhaps goes to a graduate school and does exactly as programmed afterwards. Looks for a safe and secure job. This child, now as an adult, finds that job, maybe as a doctor, or a professor, or joins the army or works for the government. But now as an adult, money is finally being made. Having money to burn, the young adult goes to places where other young people like to hang out. They meet people, they date, and sometimes they get married. Life is wonderful now because today both of them work with decent income. They feel successful, their future looks bright, and they decide to buy a house, a car, a television, take vacations, and eventually start to have children. They achieved the perfect life bundle, and it seems perfect. Except, without realizing it, they caught themselves in the discreet, notorious rat race. And so comes the greater demand for money that grows bigger every month and every year. The happy couple decides that their careers are vitally important and begins to work harder, seeking promotions and raises. The raises come, and so does another child, and a need for a bigger house. They work harder, become better employees, and become even more dedicated. They go back to school just to get more specialized skills so they can earn more money. Maybe they take a second job. Their incomes go up. But so does the real estate taxes on their new large home, and their social security taxes, and all the other taxes. They get their large paycheck and wonder after a while where all that money went. Now, their children reach 5 or 6 years of age. The need to save for college for that increases as well as the need to save for their retirement. Exhausted, having to wake up early, get up to work, finish that 9 to 5, punch out, come back home and crash and repeat. For this is the same cycle for about 5 days a week, wishing along that next weekend would just come faster. This is the life of an average educated, hardworking person. This is the path of the rat race, trapping the happy couple for the rest of their working lives, working for the owners of their company, for the government paying taxes, and for the bank paying off a mortgage and credit cards. What's astonishing, most families work from January to mid-May for the government just to cover their taxes. Perhaps the biggest surprise is that they advise their own children to only study hard, get good grades, and find a safe job or a career, many of times leaving them with little financial education so their kids will work hard all their lives. This rat race continues on into another hardworking generation. Despite of all of that, is there a way to escape the rat race? According to one of Robert Kiyosaki's book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad, yes, there is. This man who has been living in financial freedom explains that there's hope for those that are tired, who are willing to get out of the rat race. I'll say this, there isn't a magic formula to jump out of it, but there are proper skills that will be required to prove your proficiency of both accounting and investing, arguably two of the most difficult subjects to master. But there is hope for learning how to achieve financial freedom by changing your own perspective to that who has been successful. As mentioned before in the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, majority of the people's lives are controlled forever by two emotions, fear and greed. This will keep them to get up for work, focusing solely on paying their bills in an ongoing continuous cycle. Sadly, people will always believe this will always be their reality. I highly advise you to check out the breakdown and quick explanation of the Rich Dad Poor Dad in this animated book review I did here. Escaping the rat race, Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad mentored him with great lessons like focusing on investing into assets, minimizing liabilities, understanding the difference between active income and passive income. Realize this, you could be in the rat race that's preventing you to see the bigger picture of your life's potential. Ask yourself, how long will you be in the rat race? I say get out. Your time is now. If you enjoyed what you just saw, don't forget to drop a like. Feel free to check more of my videos out on my channel. Thanks once again, I'll see you guys later.